What if I told you that having a job, something we all take for granted, is actually one of the newest inventions in human history? For most of the past 200,000 years, humans survived by hunting, gathering, and growing food. There were tasks and roles, but there were no bosses, no time clocks, and no HR departments. The idea of selling your hours for money, that's barely 200 years old. It started with the Industrial Revolution. In the 1700s, machines and factories transformed entire communities. Peasants moved from farms to crowded cities. Your day was no longer ruled by sunrise and sunset. It was ruled by the factory whistle. By the 1800s, the modern job was born, a fixed wage for fixed hours. And by the 1900s, this system expanded to billions of people. Entire countries designed schools, taxes, housing, even our weekends around the idea that everyone has a job. It worked because it was stable. You worked, you earned, you spent, and the cycle-powered economies and funded governments. For most of the 20th century, having a job meant you had purpose, identity, and a way to survive. But now AI might break that system faster than anyone expected. It started with factory robots, then call centers and now white-collar jobs that once felt safe, writing, design, even coding, are being automated too. One recent study by Goldman Sachs estimates that AI could impact 300 million full-time jobs worldwide. But the big question isn't just, will I lose my job? It's, what happens to a society built on jobs? When there are no jobs left, if you don't earn wages, how do you pay for food, rent, and the things you need? If you don't have a boss or a company who collects taxes to build roads and schools, if your job gave you purpose and identity, what replaces that? Some say the solution is universal basic income, UBI for short. Governments would pay every citizen a flat amount, no strings attached. It's been tested in places like Finland, Kenya, and small pilots in the US, with mixed but hopeful results. Others believe local community co-ops could replace work, neighbors growing food, building things, and sharing the value together. And some dream of an access economy, where instead of owning and buying everything, you borrow, trade, or share. Of course, there's a darker possibility too. A tiny group owns the air, collects the profits, and the rest of us are stuck with nothing. But maybe the real lesson is that the job was always an experiment. If humans spent thousands of years surviving without formal jobs, maybe the future isn't about fighting for old jobs back, but imagining something better. So what would you do if you didn't need a job to live? Would you build, create, help your community, or just rest? A world without jobs might sound terrifying, or it might be the biggest freedom we've ever had. The truth is, nobody knows yet. This is Tomorrow Explained. Subscribe for more stories about the systems we take for granted, and the future that's about to replace them.